The oldest pub in the country and the only Hooters in the country are in the same city, so pervert historians can have the ultimate night out. The JFK assassination is less controversial than claiming to be the oldest pub in the country because the title is worth a lot of money in tourism. Nottingham has multiple pubs which are all f***ing old, but first I wanted to line my stomach in luxury on the finest food, so I went to Hooters. For our American friends, I thought this was the only one in the UK, but it turns out there's also one in Liverpool, which makes sense, and to prove it's a Hooters in the UK, there's cricket and snooker on the TV. You mainly go to Hooters to be able to speak to pretty women who are contractually obliged to talk back, and I was on my own.
I'm genuinely nervous I'm going to get recognised by another punter because I am sat in a Hooters on my own. Is this a low point? No, but I think it's building up to one.
I had no need to be nervous. Other Nottingham gentlemen were also there on their own, and two fellas even brought their kids with them. As a parent myself, I both applaud and condemn that pair of irresponsible legends. I'm not going to show the waiting staff, as I will not be objectifying women on my channel. Yes, I'll call for the total annihilation of an entire county and its residents, but objectifying women in skimpy Santa outfits, no. Although I did feel very Christmassy all of a sudden. Nottingham is a party town obsessed with Robin Hood, a man who combines their two favourite things, history and crime. A lot of tourists come here. When I say tourists, I mean stag doos and hen doos. The baby of our oldest pub contenders is this, the Bell Inn, at just 600 years old. It was heaving though. A beer was £6.15. Lord Byron used to hang out here though, and there's a little quote from him on the wall outside. You call these men a mob when neglect and calamity have driven them to despair, but do not forget that a mob too often speaks the sentiments of the people. Seems relevant. Ye Olde Salutation next, which is nearly 800 years old, but they do not lean into their history for tourism at all. I was actually at this one a couple of years ago with friends, and they were playing heavy metal incredibly loudly, which will be a problem tonight, partly because of copyright on this post, but mainly because heavy metal fans, although they look fearsome, tend to want to approach you and talk about computer technology and Pokemon. They do have Gamma Ray on tap though, so it's well worth a visit. It was £6. That would be £7.90 in London easily, if you could find it. Now for the oldest pub in the country, Ye Olde Trip to Jerusalem. Well, it's kind of the oldest pub in the country. Our friends at Green King, who own and run it, now call it the oldest inn in the country because several other pubs dispute this because of money. There's one in the Cotswolds, another in St Albans, and a few others, but this is built into the same rock and cave system that Nottingham Castle sits on and apparently dates back to 1189. Supposedly, Richard the Lionheart's knights met here before going on crusade, which, if true, is historically no bullshit. The big problem is it's not great for filming in because it's more like a series of passages, and nearly 1,000 years ago people were much smaller. Regardless of whether it is the title holder or not, there is something quite cool about drinking somewhere this old with all of the people who would have gone before you. And providing all of the pubs claiming to be the oldest in the country do so in good faith, then does it really matter?